attempted. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Raquel
Hey,
Villanueva.
I'm live.
In the past, mission team
Yeah.
members gathered in our mission control for
Ooh.
landings. But this time around, we have COVID safety measures in
Goodness,
place.
goodness.
Today's landing will look a little different than what you've seen before. I am in a room by myself, and so is my co-host.
Let me get
Here
my.
in the Spaceflight
Gotta
Operations
get that.
Facility, team members are in different parts of this building.
I'm
Some are in
live.
mission control, others are
Yeah.
upstairs for landing
Mm, mm,
operations.
mm,
We
mm,
also
mm,
have
mm,
isolated
mm,
rooms for
mm,
our
mm,
guests on this
mm.
show.
Let me
In
put this
total, we have
a
8
fake book
locations covered
so
by
that the family
14
members can
robotic
watch
cameras that you
too.
will be seeing. One of those locations is the dark
Ah,
room,
that's so
the
slow.
heart of NASA's deep space network. Think of it as a giant communication switchboard. This is where spacecraft phone home to us from across the
La,
solar
la, la, la.
system and interstellar
What was I
space.
saying?
The Deep Space Network has been tracking Perseverance since it left Earth, and there are lots of ways you can watch landing today. We have a 360-degree camera inside the control room. It lets you experience the landing right along with the team while seeing
Goodness,
this
this is making
broadcast.
me so
We
excited.
also have the clean feed. It shows an uninterrupted view of mission control and
Oh my
audio.
gosh. I can't wait to.
También tenemos un programa en español. To tell us about
En
it is
español.
host Diana Trujillo, who also works on the mission.
Thank you, Raquel. We're so excited to be the
I'll just have it
sister
in a
live broadcast in Spanish.
bigger
Sintonizate
screen.
nuestro programa en las redes sociales de Twitter, YouTube y
Oops.
Facebook en la NASA en español. Para que nos
Let's see if I
acompañes
can
a un
watch it
tour
from my
virtual de la
phone
NASA
just to
con
make sure
entrevistas
that
con
I have
astronautas, con
everything
participación de
correct on the
artistas, con
screen.
entrevistas con científicos e ingenieros de Perseverance, con Plaza Sésamo y mucho más. Te
Yeah,
esperamos.
Gracias,
perfect.
Diana. And don't forget, we want to see how you are watching the landing today. Use the hashtag
Let
Countdown to
me
Mars to
send.
send us your photos and videos.
Do do
To
do do
preview
do
what
do do.
interviews are coming up is my co-host from the JPL News office, Marina Jurica.
Thanks so much, Raquel. The excitement is building behind me right here in Mission Control as we count down to the Perseverance landing.
Oh my
We will
gosh.
be talking to
You'll have
some
no
of the
idea how
many
excited I am
people
for this.
who made today possible, from scientists to
Goodness.
engineers on the Mars 2020 Perseverance rover team to folks from NASA headquarters giving us a look
I don't know if
into
you
the
guys have
future
seen
of
it,
Mars
but
exploration. A little later, we will also be
Mark
speaking with
Rover
the
was
students
kind of
who
like
named the
explaining
rover and the
everything on like
helicopter.
what was going on
Inspirational stories as
for
we prepare for
Curiosity,
another
the one that's on
landing
Mars right
on the
now.
red planet.
Um,
Back to you, Raquel.
that like
Thanks,
everything that was going
Marina.
on, how they made it
Let's
and
give a
everything,
shout out to the students
and
around the
then him
nation
explaining how
learning about
they were
Perseverance's
to
mission
make
to
this
Mars with
Perseverance
their
rover,
teachers. You're
and
happy you're with us on this exciting day.
it made me
Later in the
have
show,
tears of
we will be
happiness because
answering
it's
some
so
of the
cool.
questions you submitted through your classrooms. Landing on Mars is complex. The team will be
Shoot,
calling
I'm
out
probably gonna just watch
milestones as
this
they
live
happen.
until
It's
the rover is
fast-paced,
like
and you'll hear
officially
lots of
there.
technical terms. To help us translate
Even though
and
it's
explain what's
not
going
gonna land
on
there
in
until
mission
another
control
hour, so I'm
is
gonna be here
Swati
for a
Raman.
while.
She
Oops.
is part of Perseverance's landing team. Thanks for guiding us through landing today, Swati.
Hi, Raquel. I'm happy to be here today.
So, Swati,
Okay,
what is
and I
the
have my
status
live
of the
chat on my
Perseverance rover right
phone
now?
So
because,
Perseverance is still in
like,
space right now, about
just in case y'all
9,000
comment
miles from
something, I
Mars.
can see on
So
here.
far, she is healthy
So
and on course.
I just need to find a
And it takes
thing
time
to
to
put it
send
on here.
signals between Earth and Mars. Can you let us know how that affects the
Here.
information you are seeing?
So Mars is about
Ugh.
127 million miles from Earth right now. That means it takes about
There we go.
11 minutes
Okay, I got
for
it.
light to travel from Mars to Earth. So all the information that we receive from Perseverance actually happened 11 minutes ago. So the round trip is 22 minutes for us to send a command to Perseverance and hear back on the ground that she's received
Yeah, I
that
know.
command. This is what
Yeah,
we call
it's
two-way
1.5
light
hours.
time.
Yeah, but you
That's
know, I'm
good to
excited,
know.
and plus I'm
And
not doing
can you
anything.
tell us who else
That
is
winter
in the
storm is
room with you
here,
right
so
now?
The operations team
yeah,
is split
I
into
have
two
nothing to
different
do
areas.
except watch this.
Here in the cruise mission support area, we have primarily the team that has been flying Perseverance from Earth to Mars. You'll see the placards with the roles of each of the people by their stations. Some of the people you may hear talking today are the flight director, who is the conductor of our operations orchestra here. The entry, descent, and landing activity lead, who is a member of the landing team tasked with understanding
It's so
the
cool that
execution of entry, descent,
we're
and
getting to
landing.
see like
And then also
this
the
type of stuff happen
telecommunications and
in our
entry,
lifetime,
descent, and landing
especially like
communications engineers who will be monitoring
how
this signal
in a
from
couple of
Perseverance
years
through the different paths that
there's
we have.
actually going to be like,
Upstairs,
you know,
in what
humans
we
on
call
Mars,
the war room,
which
we have
it like
almost
it
the
blows my
entire
mind.
entry, descent, and landing operations team. And then across the hall from them,
And
we have
like
the
last
surface
year,
mission
how they launched
control
the
room, where
the shuttle
surface
from
operations
SpaceX,
team is ready
and
waiting to
just
take over as
watching
soon as
that live and
Perseverance's wheels touch
seeing
the ground.
everything that was going on,
And you
and
have
just
been
watching
part
the
of this
like
mission for
the
years
little
now.
rockets
Can you
land
tell us what have you
back
been working
on
on?
Earth by
I've been working
themselves,
on Perseverance for almost
that
8
made me
years
cry
now
so much
as
because
a guidance,
it's just, you know,
navigation,
technology is
control
crazy,
engineer,
and it just makes me imagine
working
like what could
primarily
happen
on
like
entry,
20
descent, and
years from
landing.
now,
One of my big
for like
tasks
space
was to help
exploration.
with terrain
So
relative navigation. Perseverance will be the first mission to fly terrain relative navigation. So while she's descending on the parachute, she'll actually be looking at the ground with a camera, seeing where she is with respect to the Martian surface, and choosing a safe spot to land that she can get to. After so many years of working on the mission, it's an honor to be here today as the mission commentator.
We're happy to have you here. Thanks, Swati. We'll be checking back in with you in just a few minutes as Perseverance approaches its next milestone. But for now, let's learn more about the rover's mission once it lands on Mars.
You know, Mars is the closest place that we can reach with robotic exploration that we think had a really good chance of having ancient life.
The Perseverance rover will land at a location called Jezero Crater. Jezero Crater is a very interesting place. It's a crater that once held a lake.
There are a lot of craters on the surface of Mars that could have once hosted ancient lakes, but not every crater that we think had a lake actually preserves evidence that that lake was there.
It had an inflow channel and it had an outflow channel. That means it was filled. The crater was filled with water.
In Jezero, we have probably one of the most beautifully preserved delta deposits on Mars.
Watching
in that crater.
This is a wonderful
watching
place to
like
live
this,
for
like
microorganisms,
what they're
and
explaining,
it is also a
kind of
wonderful
reminds me of
place
like when
for
I was
those
in junior high.
microorganisms to be preserved so that we can
In
find
my
them now
woodshop
so many
class,
billions of years later.
if
There is no other place
somebody
on Mars
were
that
to
has
like,
the unique combination
you know,
of
not
lake
act
setting, a
right
beautifully
in the
preserved
class,
delta, and the diverse mineralogy
the
that we
teacher
have in
would
Jezero
put
Crater.
a
So it's
space
truly a
video,
special
the
landing
same
site.
video every single time.
major
So if someone
goal of
does
the
something
Perseverance
bad, they
mission
know we
is
have to watch a really
investigate astrobiology on
long
Mars in
monotone
particular,
video about
to address the
space.
question of whether life
And
ever
honestly,
existed
I was probably the only one in the class who
The
didn't
Perseverance
mind
rover
watching those
starts
over and
with
over
science
again
fair
because
support
I was kind of
curiosity.
like
We've added to it a whole new set
relearning
of science
everything
instruments.
about each of the
These
planets.
science instruments were purposefully
So
selected to help
yeah,
us
who
in the
would have
search for
known, like, you know,
biosignatures.
15 years later, we would be seeing something like this, which I think is really amazing.
Perseverance carries with her a grand experiment in spacefaring technology, a helicopter, the name of which is now Ingenuity.
One of the major upgrades
Hey,
that
there's another person in
Perseverance
here.
has
Hello.
from Curiosity is that it's able to
I don't know who it is, but
for
hello.
a distance of up to 200 meters per day. As the rover is
Man, I'm so
driving,
excited.
It's literally building the map of the road it's driving on Mars.
Goodness.
Scientists for years have told us that to really unlock the secrets of Mars, we have to bring samples from Mars back to Earth.
So what Mars 2020 is going to do is to drill samples, put them in small tubes. We're going to seal it in its own individual tube. We set them on the surface.
That is one thing that I think that is like super cool from the rover, is that they can put the little tube, like the rover itself can get the samples and put the tubes in its little compartment or whatever, and leave those tubes for the humans who are coming to Mars to pick that up and analyze that. So it's just really, really cool.
Towards human exploration on Mars.
You are watching live Mars landing commentary, and Perseverance is about to reach another important milestone. Swati, can you tell us what is happening?
We are at a milestone where the operations team determines whether they're ready to turn
Oh,
off
and
the transmitter to
Mark
Perseverance.
Robber,
Turning off the
that
transmitter
little
is
name
like
that I have right there.
taking your hands off of the
He
wheel. At this
actually
point
put like
forward,
how fast
Perseverance would be
it's
on
flying
her
right now
own
to
to
Mars, and
execute
it's
entry, descent, and landing over
45,000 miles per hour,
500,000 lines of code. Let's listen in.
which is pretty fast. Oh no, it's loading. Oh my god, watch the power go out. If the power goes out during this, I'm gonna cry. Because I really want to see this live.
Go.
Okay.
Propulsion. Go. Art lead. Go. Team chief. Go.
Why is it lagging so much? I want to know what.
Go. Launch cruise phase lead. Go. Deputy mission. Go. EDL phase lead. Go. Mission assurance. Mission assurance is go. Chief engineer. Chief is go. Project manager. Project go. Mission manager. All stations are go for transmitter off. Copy flight. Go for transmitter off.
There you have it, Raquel. We have deemed Perseverance ready to execute entry, descent, and landing on her own.
Thank you, Swati. As we just heard, Perseverance is now operating on its own as it cruises closer to Mars.
Man, that's so crazy.
What this mission means for the agency is NASA's
God.
Associate Administrator Thomas Zurbuchen. Thomas, this is our 5th rover sent to Mars since 1997. Can you tell us how
It's
Perseverance
freaking
is
flying
going to
by
kickstart
itself
a new
towards
era?
Mars now.
Wow, this is
It's
such
autonomous.
an important day today, and it really is the beginning of a new era in a sense that we're going
Goodness.
from exploration, with experiments on rovers, looking around, doing analysis, to the sample return phase, in which we're not only looking around, looking at the geology, but really turning our rover into a robotic geologist and astrobiologist, collecting samples that we will bring back to Earth. And for us, of course, those are where the best laboratories are of all of humanity. Some of them still remain to be explored by
like a
some that
big
are not
screen.
yet in the science community yet. And that's what we're looking forward to.
I
It's
wonder
that
if there's a
new
way to,
phase.
like-
The other element
Ah.
that I want to talk about is
Goodness.
the amazing technologies that are there. And of course, one of my favorites is the Ingenuity helicopter. This
If I were to
in search
do
of
it,
this
let's see full
extraterrestrial
screen.
Wright brothers moment, you know.
What would that
controlled
look like?
flight for the first time
I'm just
elsewhere,
trying to see
Raquel.
what it looks like from the
Great.
phone.
And we have a student question on video for you from Macy.
Hi, my name is Macy Ragsdale. My question is anything alive on Mars? Thank you.
Okay, nice.
Well, Macy,
Yeah, I'll
I'm
leave
so
it. I'll leave it
glad
on
for
full
your
screen.
question. That's a question I ask myself.
Yeah.
Is
Hello, other
anything alive
person.
there?
Don't
And
know who you
frankly,
are,
at the
but
surface
hello.
where we're going right now with Perseverance, we do not believe there's anything alive.
Shit, I'm gonna be
right
sitting in
there
this chair
because of
for a
the
while.
radiation that's there. It's chilling,
I should probably get
cold,
some
and there's really
popcorn.
no water there. But guess what? We think that 3 billion years ago, this looked like a stream that you may see on Earth. And frankly, a lot more similar than Earth, with water with a magnetic field, just like the Earth with an atmosphere. And the question is,
So the other person that
at
just
that
came
time, 3
in,
billion years ago, were there
they
single-cell
basically
organisms of the
just
type that developed on
announced
Earth?
that.
Is there life on
Oh,
on
the
Mars
other person
overall?
left.
We
But oh
don't
well,
know,
I'll
but
just
where
say it
we're
again.
going right now, we're really looking for ancient
That
life, and
basically
that's what we're so excited about.
it's flying autonomous right now
Thank you
to
for your
Mars.
time today, Thomas. And thanks to everyone who has been using the hashtag Countdown to Mars. Here are some of the photos that you've sent in so far. Let's take a look. Now, please keep sharing with us how you are watching this moment today.
I feel it.
For now, let's go back to Swati for an important
Snoopy.
update to what's going on in mission control as we get closer to another milestone.
Hi, Raquel. this next milestone is a communications pool. So during landing, not only will Perseverance talk directly to Earth, but we'll also be talking to two spacecraft that are currently orbiting Mars, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and the MAVEN spacecraft. This poll is to confirm with the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter spacecraft.
I wonder, can y'all hear the volume of the other person? Like of the...
On track to support the relay from Perseverance. Let's listen in.
Okay, y'all can. Perfect.
EDL-COM flight.
So flight.
Have you performed the comm check and readiness of the orbiters?
We have performed the voice check and the readiness poll and can confirm that MRO, MAVEN, EDA, Radio Science 1 and 2, UHF, DTE, DSN, and EDL GDS are all ready to support.
Copy, EDL-COM.
Oh, God. I'll try that. Hello, third person!
So we just heard that we have confirmation from each of the different orbiters and all of their support equipment on the ground that they are ready and are on track to support the relay from Perseverance.
I'm probably going to be sitting in this chair for like another hour and a half.
Great, thank you, Swati.
Because
And
the rover is going to land on Mars at 2:50 supposedly. So yeah, if you want to chill with me if you want. You know, the winter storm is going on, so I have nothing to do.
The visualization lets
just sit here and watch what they're going to do.
Here's how the program works.
Yeah, okay, so now there's 4 people. Hello. So they basically said that Perseverance is now autonomous and flying on its own towards Mars right now. So that's just like the thing that blows my mind. Is that like it's just hello, 5th person. It's just flying by itself towards Mars and it's freaking calculating where it's gonna plan in that radius that they set. It's awesome. It's awesome.
To increase your EDL expertise. Experience every entry, descent, and landing event precisely designed and executed to land Perseverance safely on Mars. The EYE's experience is,
you know, Mark Rover, when he posted his video on like how the rover is gonna land and everything, there was like it was like a little animation on like how it would land, and even just from that animation I was crying with tears of happiness. Now imagine today real time. Ooh, probably gonna be great.
You are watching live Mars landing commentary. Stepping outside mission control to talk to us is Perseverance system engineer Matt Smith. Thanks for joining us today, Matt.
Hey, Raquel.
Well, coming from mission control, we are going to hear terms related to landing. Can you help us understand?
It must be nice to like work in a place
sure,
like
definitely.
that.
One thing you'll hear a lot about is telemetry. So telemetry is just our way of talking about data that's coming from the spacecraft and telling us important things like temperatures on the vehicle, pressure, how much fuel we have left, and other things that we need to understand for the health and safety of the vehicle. You'll also hear the word nominal, hopefully. Nominal means everything is expected, everything is okay, we're good to go. You'll hear also a lot about velocity and deceleration. So
I think I'm like
velocity is
nervous because I'm like getting like
combined
those
with the
nervous
direction
sweats.
we're going. And deceleration is our slowing velocity.
Not about the
so
live,
coming in
but
at
just
over
like about
12,000
the
miles
whole
per hour,
Mars
we're
rover
gonna
thing in
slow down
general.
to a nice, comfortable 2 miles per hour at landing, and that's our deceleration. Speaking of landing, you may hear a couple important terms at landing itself. One is RIMU stable. So the RIMU is a device on the rover that measures the rover's orientation and
You know,
whether
I
it's
think
moving.
like
So we want
I
a
just
nice,
hope
stable
I don't
landing spot
we don't
without
get a
any
blackout
motion. You'll also
because
hear
I
UHF
really,
stable,
really want to
hopefully.
see this,
UHF
like,
stable
happening.
refers to good telecommunications link with the rover and indicates that we've had a good separation between
And they
the
said,
descent stage
Mark
and the
Rover
rover
said that,
after the sky crane maneuver.
as
Finally,
it's
you may
landing,
also
you'll we'll
hear
be able to
Tango
see
Delta
the
nominal, or
parachute
touchdown
come
nominal.
out when it's
That
about to
means we've
land.
touched down on the surface of Mars within the
And it has
expected
cameras all
range
around
of
the
safe
rover, so
landing
we can
speeds.
see, like, on Mars. So that's like,
This is your first Mars mission. What
I'm
have
just
you
so
learned from this
excited.
experience?
Yeah, one of my
I should
takeaways
probably
is
bring
that
some
you can almost
napkins
never be
because I'm
too
probably
careful
gonna
when it comes to
cry.
Mars. You definitely can't take Mars for granted. You know, we've checked and double checked and triple checked everything on our way to Mars, and you know, even though we've done this once before using the sky crane technique on the Curiosity rover, you know, I think everyone's going to have everyone's going to hold their breath until we're on the surface of Mars this time around.
And we have a social media question coming in. Nor the Door on Instagram asks, how complicated is the automated landing sequence and who wrote the code?
Yeah, that's what I
It's
want
quite
to know.
complicated. The automated landing software needs to do literally hundreds of things all on its own, just right with sub-second timing accuracy. And it's the result of many hundreds of people over many years, stretching all the way back to Curiosity and then improved for the Perseverance landing today at Jezero Crater.
Great. Thanks for your time today, Matt, and good luck.
Thanks.
Now, landing on Mars is hard. Landing on Mars during a pandemic is even harder. The team behind the Perseverance rover faced one of its biggest challenges when the coronavirus pandemic struck. Here's how they kept the mission going.
When the pandemic struck,
the
future was certainly unknown. It was like walking into a blind dark alley. You didn't know what was there, what was in front of you, what you were going to have
Speaking
to deal
of
with.
pandemic, though, why is 2021 feeling like 2020?
It's something nobody could plan for.
So we were asked to start working from home.
Rather than your first priority being mission success and getting to the launch pad, your first
Does my
priority
ear look
immediately
funny?
gets
I bet it looks
displaced,
funny.
And it's now the safety of the people.
And it took a lot of work to put stuff together in order to keep momentum going, to keep people working safely, keep them healthy, and to keep the project on schedule.
We called the effort Mars 2020 Safe at Work, and the objective was to keep the team as safe or safer than they would be if they were not working. You know, putting a spacecraft together that's going to Mars and not making a mistake, it's hard no matter what. Trying to do it during the middle of the pandemic, it's a lot harder.
And liftoff. As the countdown to Mars continues, the perseverance of humanity launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the Red Planet.
Certainly never done something like this before. Try to lead a team that's flying a spacecraft on the way to Mars while getting ready for landing, while doing it all from home.
There's no doubt that working in isolation, not virtual isolation, but in physical isolation from everyone else, is a challenge.
Are you watching the live?
Rethink and redesign
Oh.
what it meant to
Well, I
operate
guess because
a
you said 250, right?
in flight
Okay.
when we couldn't all
Then I guess
be in the same room in mission
maybe
control, seeing the data come down
2:30.
from
That's when it's probably gonna
This is a
show
major change
or
going
something.
to that, you know, looking at everyone on a screen instead of
I'm actually thinking about making some popcorn because I'm I'm gonna be sitting for a while.
Just pop over your cubicle wall and talk to the person next to you.
It's definitely been a challenge to figure
Yeah.
out how to communicate and get everything done remotely, but we've managed to make it work.
We are explorers. Our job is
There's 4 of
to
y'all
go
in
into
here.
the unknown.
Talk to
And
me,
this
somebody.
is just another
Ask me
example
questions.
of the unknown.
We're really doing something that's transformative and trying to understand whether or not life evolved on another planet. That's the fundamental objective of this mission.
We're all still connected by this.
But if I was brain
incredible
smart,
mission and this, this
I would I would have tried
be part of.
getting into something that like revolves around NASA.
Pretty much everybody that I've talked to that's
But
associated with the mission
I'm a
has
business
said the same
major.
thing, which could not have come up with a better name than Perseverance.
It's an amazing serendipity. We get to persevere through working on Perseverance.
When will it land? Supposedly at 2:50 p.m. So in a little bit over an hour. and I feel like maybe at around 2:30 or 2:35, maybe that's when they're gonna show the footage.
Manager Matt
Um,
Wallace. Matt, just how
because I
ambitious
know
is
that they're
this mission?
it's gonna show like it
Team on
detaching
track
from
with unexpected
what is that thing
challenges
called?
like the pandemic.
That little disc, and then it's gonna show the parachute, and then it's gonna show when it's gonna land. So I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna start showing some footage at around 2:30, 2:35. That's my guess.
Technology experiments to provide feed forward information into the next set of robotic explorers or even human exploration of Mars. So there's a lot for us to do. We look a lot like Curiosity, but in fact we're carrying 50% more payload down to the surface of Mars, and so
Oh, and then the other cool thing, like they're gonna have a drone inside of the rover so that it can come out and analyze everything. Yeah, thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
We were just months
Got you.
From launching. We're trying to essentially get the spacecraft assembled, do the final tests. Did not have a lot of margin in our schedule.
I mean, so like for the other people, I don't know if you want to just sit here and chill with me, but if you're bored, you can just come back like around 2:30. I'm gonna still be doing the live. So yeah, because I probably around that time, that's when it's gonna show the footage.
And we managed to get it launched.
So I'll still be here.
I'll
still be doing the live, so y'all can watch with me.
And Matt, just how large is the team that worked on Perseverance?
It's a big team. A couple thousand people here just at JPL, in fact, have worked on the mission. And then almost every other NASA center has contributed in some significant and critical way as well. We have over 1,000 industry
I really hope we don't get like a blackout.
Into this mission from
I know I've said that many times, but I really hope we don't.
60 different cities, and of course we have international contributions from Europe and many other international providers as well. So it's a big team. It's taken a lot of people to get us to where we're at.
That is a big team. This is the most difficult landing site ever attempted. Now, why do you think Perseverance is ready to land in Jezero Crater now?
Jezero is tough. I mean, it's scientifically fascinating because it's got a lot of things like craters and rock fields and cliffs and sand dunes and that sort of thing, which are great for the science community. That's exactly the type of features they're looking for to learn more about.
Just imagine, like, what if after they send people to Mars, they also send like these ATV-looking cars, kind of like something like in the movie Armageddon. Hello. But yeah, that'll be so cool. So they can just like ride around, or like the movie The Martian, where the guy was like basically just like driving that vehicle all around. That would be so cool if they like sent a shuttle over there and then we got to see that landing.
In the same situation. So
that's a chat slow mode is crazy. Yep.
Everything they've got.
Agreed.
To put it all out there and to make this successful, and I think we're ready.
Thanks, Matt, and good luck on your 5th mission.
Thank you very much.
Well, Jezero Crater is a location on Mars that has intrigued scientists for years. Let's head over to Marina to learn more about the science goals of the mission.
That's right, Raquel. Here to explain why we want to go there is Deputy Project Scientist Katie Stack Morgan. Welcome, Katie.
I really like their polos.
Thanks, Marina. Glad to be here.
I like that logo.
Landing on Mars at the Jezero Crater. Why is it that you and the team chose this particular area?
Yeah, so scientists believe Jezero Crater is one of the best places on Mars and possibly the entire solar system to look for signs of ancient life. Jezero contains an ancient lake and has within it one of the best preserved ancient delta deposits on the surface of Mars. And deltas form when a river enters a relatively open body of water, like an impact crater, and deposits the sediment that it's carrying into the lake. And we know based on studies of deltas and lakes here on Earth that they're great places to
How are y'all today?
and preserve organics and support microbial.
Were y'all hit by the winter storm too, or no?
Exposes rocks that are between 3
Another 4th person. What up?
old and represent a
Hello.
of different geological processes.
Now, this might be a tough choice, but what do you think would be the most rewarding scientific discovery that we
I think at
expect to
around
get from this
maybe 2:15, I'm gonna want to heat up
Hands
some
down, I think the
popcorn.
most rewarding discovery I think we can make with
So I can
Perseverance
have,
would
so I
be
can
finding a
eat.
truly compelling ancient biosignature on Mars. The rocks in and around Jezero crater record a period of time when life first arose in the solar system, and we have the opportunity with Perseverance to study the evolution of the
Hey,
planet
6 people.
from a once
What it
habitable
do?
world likely
Hi.
capable of supporting ancient life to the cold, barren planet we know Mars is today.
And why do you think, Katie, it's so important to find out if there really is or was ancient life on Mars?
Well, the question of whether there's life beyond Earth is one of the most fundamental and essential questions we can ask. And our ability to ask this question and develop the
No.
scientific investigations and technology to answer
Ugh.
it is one of the things that make us as a species so unique. And based on everything we know about
Aw,
Mars in the
man.
past, it's
Ramen sounds
absolutely
good
surely
right now,
capable
honestly.
of
I
ancient
haven't
life.
had
So we
ramen in
can
a
find
very
out
long
an answer
time.
to the question,
Oh,
where
goodness.
there were habitable environments,
I live
was
in
there life?
Estonia, and
And
we
studying the
have
possible
had our
emergence of
snow
life on
since
ancient
December.
Mars can also help us
So
better
you're like
understand the conditions that
way
led to
over
life
there.
on our own
Okay,
planet.
cool. Well, welcome to the
That's so
live video,
fascinating,
man.
Katie. Now we're going to take a question from a student, Vara.
But Proxy, you are that's awesome. Ramen is the way to go.
Lakes and rivers ages ago, but cannot now. Isn't it cold enough to make water? And isn't it always?
What's
Thank you.
Hendrik? So you said that you've had snow since
Yeah,
December.
that is such a great question.
Is it like really heavy
One of
snow,
the
or is
things
it
that
probably like
protects
3
our
feet of snow
atmosphere
or
here on
something
Earth
over
and
there?
allows liquid water to be stable on our own planet is the fact that we have a magnetic field protecting that atmosphere. We think that Mars lost its magnetic field way back billions of years ago and left the atmosphere
Oh,
exposed
okay,
to
a
things
foot of
like
snow.
solar and cosmic rays that
Gotcha.
basically blew that atmosphere away. And once that
Dang.
happened,
Yeah.
liquid water
I'm
wasn't
over here
stable
in
on the surface
Texas.
of Mars anymore. It was too
We
cold and the pressure was
experienced
too
our
low.
first
And
heavy
so now
snow
Mars is
on
not
Monday,
capable of supporting liquid water and likely not capable
and
of supporting life at its surface.
it
Well,
was
thank you
really
so much to
unexpected
Vara for
because we're
that
not used
great
to that over
question.
here.
And a big shout out to all the kids that are
So
watching out there today. And
yeah.
thank you so much to you, Katie, for
I mean,
joining
it was
us. That
fun
was so
at first, but then once everything was just
Thank
nothing
you.
but black
Now
ice,
sending it
that's
back
when it
over to
wasn't
you,
fun. And then a bunch of
Thanks, Irina.
blackouts,
Earlier,
which I
we were
hope
able
doesn't
to catch
happen
up
during
with
this
the
live stream because I
communications
really
systems
want to see
engineer,
this Mars
Chloe
rover land.
Sapir. She helps us break down the system used to track Perseverance during landing.
The communications infrastructure supporting Perseverance's landing is quite complex. We've rallied a truly global network of relay and communications assets to help us capture and record those precious minutes of entry, descent, and landing, or EDL. We receive a stream of engineering telemetry via these communication assets that helps us see and
Man, I
understand
really want one of those
exactly what's
polos.
happening.
Gosh, they look so
Perseverance sends
nice.
direct-to-Earth X-band tones, each of which provides us with indications of critical entry, descent, and landing events. During entry, descent, and landing, we have two Mars orbiters listening for the ultra-high frequency, or UHF, signals from Perseverance. These orbiters relay these signals to deep space network stations on Earth, Madrid in Spain, and Goldstone in California. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, has reconfigured its software to perform a type of relay called bent pipe. This will provide us with near real-time telemetry during entry,
Hey,
descent, and
Rube.
landing. We have coverage from the Mars Reconnaissance
Yes,
Orbiter
it
from
did.
just before entry to a few minutes
Sadly.
after landing. The telemetry we
I'm not
receive
laughing
will
because
be
it's funny, I'm
delayed
just
by the
laughing
time it
because
takes
of the
light to travel from
situation.
Mars to us back on Earth.
The situation
Additionally,
that we
the
are
Mars
in.
Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution spacecraft, or MAVEN, is recording these UHF signals and will be relaying that recording hours after landing. MAVEN will be covering us from around the time of cruise stage separation until a few minutes after landing. We also receive what we call heartbeat tones, which are indications that the spacecraft is alive and progressing throughout entry, descent, and landing. It's important to note that while unexpected, we could lose our communication links and still land safely. Because Perseverance is
If
doing
y'all are
entry, descent,
hearing
and landing
big,
completely
loud
autonomously,
thumps,
she doesn't need our help to
that's
joystick
just my
the
dad
landing.
playing with my
The
dog with the ball.
communication links give us added visibility.
And you can see Chloe hard at work inside Mission Control right now. Perseverance's landing might look like the system the Curiosity rover used back in 2012, but landing on Mars is difficult. There's always a risk involved. Here's what needs to happen for Perseverance to touch down safely in Jezero Crater.
Nothing can be taken for granted when you get to Mars. There's a lot of things we just don't know.
Space always has a way of throwing us curveballs and surprising us.
I mean, until we get the data that says we're on the ground safely, I'm going to be worried that we're not going to make it.
Entry, descent, and landing is often referred to as the 7 minutes of terror because it takes about 7 minutes to get from the top of the atmosphere of Mars to the ground safely.
The spacecraft has to do all of this by itself.
There are many things that have to go right to get Perseverance onto the ground safely.
There's a lot counting on this. This is the first leg of our sample return relay race. There's a lot of work on the line.
Starting about 10 minutes before atmospheric entry, we get rid of really the spacecraft part of the rover that's been supporting us.
We come screaming in to the
Hey, 7th person, yay!
12 to 13,000
Hi, 7th person!
And the heat shield is what dissipates
Something like
all that
Enterprise.
initial energy through friction.
The vehicle
Yeah.
will continue actually flying itself through
Maybe,
the atmosphere,
hopefully.
sort of like a transforming vehicle that went from spacecraft and now it's kind of like an aircraft.
This morning it was
actually
negative,
guiding itself.
ooh, negative 23 Celsius? Which is about negative 4. Oh, sorry, negative 9.4
Supersonic parachute
Fahrenheit.
ever sent to
Wow.
another planet. It's critical for slowing down
Dang.
the vehicle.
That is crazy.
Perseverance's entry, descent, and
I give
landing
y'all
borrows
props
heavily
for
from that of
handling
Curiosity.
that
But
weather
fundamentally,
since
Perseverance
December.
is a different rover. She's
Man.
bigger, she has different instruments.
We've added a lot of smarts on the inside to make it more capable so that it can deal with the landing site that we've given it.
The science team identified Jezero
Yeah,
Crater
for
as
proxy,
basically
I just
one of the most promising
I wonder
places
what
to
it's
look
gonna be
for
like
evidence of
after,
ancient microbial life and to
like
collect
what are gonna
samples for future
what's gonna be the
return.
missions
The
after
problem is
the
it's a
humans are
much
there
more
and
hazardous
Mars.
place to land.
That's what I wonder.
Jezero, all you see is danger. How do we go to a site that we never thought was safe enough to go to before? So the heat shield, which has protected us
Maybe Mars vehicles,
so that we can actually see
vehicles for Mars,
and we can see the
maybe,
ground in a couple different ways.
Perseverance will be the first mission
or
to use terrain
sending
relative navigation. So while it's descending on the parachute, it will actually
something
be
like
taking
like
images of the
for
surface
humans to
of
build on
and
Mars to kind of like
determining where
make
to
a
go
little
based on what it sees.
civilization type of
This is
thing.
finally like landing with your eyes open. But having this new technology really allows Perseverance to land in much more challenging terrain than Curiosity or any previous Mars mission could. Amongst the rocks and the craters and the cliffs, these things are hazardous to the rover, but these are the things that are interesting to the scientists.
Once Perseverance has figured out where she is, jettison the back shell.
Man, Proxy, now you're making me want to get some ramen now. Ramen sounds really good.
Those rockets help us steer to a safe landing spot that's nearby.
That descent stage takes us
Yeah,
all the way down to
and
about 20
that's
meters
That's when we start
the forming oxygen. That's what Mark Rover put in his video. That something about converting CO2 to oxygen. That's what they're gonna try to do when the humans are there on Mars. So I think that's really cool that they're gonna do that over there.
Look for those signs of past life on Mars.
A real life Martian movie.
Until we get Perseverance safely to the ground, and then that's when the real mission begins.
With us
23
now
cameras.
is Al Chen. He is Perseverance's entry, descent, and landing lead. Al, you were part of the Curiosity rover landing. Does it get any easier the second time around?
Yeah,
it absolutely does
that's
not,
true.
Especially when considering we're trying to land the biggest, heaviest, and most complex rover we've ever built at the most dangerous landing site we've ever attempted.
But
Jezero may look
do you
great
think it's
then,
it's
promising from a
possible
science perspective, but it's absolutely treacherous
that
for landing.
we could probably see
There's a
something
cliff
bigger
wall
than
that's
that,
about 200
like
feet
after the
tall,
first
runs
people
right
on
through the middle
Mars,
of the landing
though?
site. There are craters full of sand that even if we landed in them, we would not be able to drive out of. And there are rocks to the east and actually all over the place, rock fields. That would be a bad day for us if we were to land on them.
Yeah.
Now, Al, what new technology makes
What if
this type
what
of
if
dangerous
25 years from
landing
now,
possible?
what if
Perseverance is carrying two new
a lot
technologies
of
that
a
are
lot
really
of the
kind of
people
under the
who
hood
work for
smarts
NASA
that are
or they're
allowing
at the
us to end
JPL
this treacherous
that
landing
they
site.
work with
The first is
something
range
like
trigger.
virtual
That's the
reality where
ability
they
we've
can
given
like
Perseverance the
basically be
ability to
on
decide
Mars
for herself,
and kind of
based
like
on where she is,
kind of like
when to deploy
work
the parachute.
on Mars but while
Previously,
you're
we
on
used to deploy
Earth.
parachutes, that supersonic parachute,
Like that
based
would be
just
so
on
cool
navigated velocity.
where
But
you're
now
helping
Perseverance
the
has
other
the smarts to
humans
figure out
over
where
there.
she is and deploy that parachute at just the right place to make sure
A
that
person
we
can
shrink
dream.
where we could come down. That actually reduces the area, that error ellipse, where we can come down on the ground, from something that was on the order of 15 miles long by 12 miles wide for Curiosity to about 5 miles long by 4 miles wide for Perseverance. So that's quite a bit of reduction.
Basically kind of like
Second, the next piece
like
of
something
technology
with
that's
Star
helped us
Wars with
land there is
like
terrain navigation.
a hologram
In the past, after
and
we
they're just
popped off
talking to
the
you in that
beachhead,
little figure.
we've taken pictures of the ground as it's been coming up, but we haven't really done anything with them. This time, Perseverance is carrying a camera to take pictures, but also a kind of second brain to help it figure out what those pictures are telling it and match it up with an onboard map from a satellite. That allows it to figure out exactly where she is. Suddenly, then, she can then fly to safe spots that are nearby once she really knows where she is. It allows the site to not have to be as flat and boring as a pancake as some of our past sites have been, the entire area we could come down. Now we just need little pieces of that site to be small enough and safe enough for us to land in safely and fly
it would.
after we've gotten rid of the parachute.
And we also have a social media question coming in. Sansakari14 on Instagram is asking, how does the sky crane decide where to move itself after
It
the
just makes me
payload
think
lands?
of like
After the payload lands, after the rover touches
the
down,
possibilities that could
the sky
happen
crane that descends to it,
after
which is
everyone
that
is on
rocket-powered
Mars.
jetpack above it. The first job, of course, is to make sure you don't hurt the rover. So it'll turn forward or backward so that the engine plumes don't pass over the rover. So it'll come up and start to turn. And it'll go in whichever direction is closest to north. So it can either go forward, if that's the way north is, or go toward the rear of the rover, if that's where north is. And it'll fly about
We're probably
a
gonna need
mile or
bigger
so
satellite stations or
Thanks for
something
talking to us
to
today,
carry the
Al.
signal.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's head back to Mission Control for an update from Swati.
Hi, Raquel. So, remember that command that we sent at around 11:35 to turn the transmitter off? We are just about to get confirmation that Perseverance has received the command. The command took 11 minutes to go to Perseverance, and then the reply took 11
I'm doing the
minutes
live.
to get back from Perseverance to the ground. So we should
Yeah,
hear
probably like at 2:30 is when they're gonna show the footage
officially turned off
around
the
there.
transmitter.
That's what I think.
And after
Since
that, we
Ruben
will
said
be
it's gonna
about
land like at
4
2:50.
minutes from the
Yeah.
start of entry, descent, and landing mode. At this point, we will transition from the cruise approach mode to entry, descent, and landing. And that means our travel from Earth to Mars is done, and now we just need to get to the surface.
So I
So
just
far,
wonder
things are
like
looking
what if they're able to strengthen, cuz you know how, well, I don't know. Cuz like what they said is it takes 11 minutes and 22 seconds for the signal from Mars to get here to Earth. So I wonder if in the future if they'll be able to increase that with a a better satellite or something.
Flight 8. Go Ace. Our tracking stations have all confirmed the results of the transmitter drive off and in lock one way. Copy Ace. GDS flight. Flight GDS.
I mean,
at this time I'd like to disable
I
the
don't know.
alarms before EDL main.
Cause like 20 minutes ago or 25 minutes ago, they were just announcing that it's now flying on its own.
How does Perseverance fit into the history of exploring Mars?
Am I lagging? Can y'all let me know if I'm lagging on the thing?
Fifth rover on Mars, and I've had the privilege of working on every one of them. And the very first rover was the Sojourner rover we sent in 1997.
Or is like the video okay?
Oven. And even at that small size,
because I noticed from my phone, like when I talk, it happens like 3 seconds later.
Mars, from stationary landers to small roving robots that go from place to place, just like a geologist would on Earth. So once we had that roving capability, then we sent our twin rovers Spirit and Opportunity. Spirit and Opportunity were tasked with finding evidence of ancient water on Mars. Now they did. They're great explorers, and both of them found ample evidence that water had once existed on the surface of Mars. But we had a question, another question then, was Mars ever habitable if water had been there? And that's when we sent Curiosity. Now Curiosity was a major upgrade to our rover fleet. She's the size of a small car. She landed with
The other big question that I have is just like,
and she also carries
I
along her own
wonder
sample analytics lab.
if we're gonna have the technology of this time,
During her exploration, she
or
has
like
found
our
evidence of a
generation,
habitable
to
environment
where
in an ancient
we
lake
can
bed on Mars.
kind of
So now
like
we're sending Perseverance.
take people there and
Perseverance
like
is
bring people back to Earth.
with answering the question and looking for evidence of ancient microbial life on Mars. And in order to do this, she has to be the smartest and most capable rover we've ever sent.
Speaking of Perseverance, can you tell us more about how Perseverance is smarter than its predecessors?
Yes, we've made a lot of upgrades to help her along with the surface mission. One of them is for her autonomous traverse capability. When I say autonomous traverse, I mean we tell her where we want her to end up, and she has to figure out the safe and best way to get there. In order to do that, she uses her cameras, algorithms, a computer. So we've given her another computer, we've upgraded the cameras, and we've upgraded the algorithms. Now she drives 3 times as fast as Curiosity could drive in this autonomous traverse mode. In fact, her average daily distance for driving, about 200 meters, is close to the maximum distance any rover has ever driven in a day on Mars. So she's fast. Another thing that we've done, which is the most significant upgrade that we've made, is the sample caching system itself. Curiosity has a robotic arm, like Perseverance has a robotic arm, but on the end of Perseverance's robotic arm is a coring drill that will go and take rock cores, transfer them into sample tubes and into the rover, where another robotic arm will take those tubes, will seal them and store them, and eventually drop them on the surface of Mars for future return to Earth.
That's what I think is cool.
We also have a social media question about Perseverance.
Awesome.
Erica AS on Instagram wants to know what the wheels of the rover are made out of.
Great question. Well, you may think we make them out of some material you've never heard of. It turns out they're made of aluminum.
Oh, he's
now,
watching?
Perseverance's
Oh,
wheels are a little
hi,
thicker
Iwan.
than Curiosity's, but they're actually both made out of aluminum.
And one more question for you. Can you tell us more about the importance of where you are right now in the building?
Yes, I am above, on the 2nd floor, above the cruise mission support area that you've been watching. And this is the surface mission support area. So as soon as Perseverance lands,
Rube.
all commands, this
Rube.
room will take over. It will become headquarters for operating
Come here.
Perseverance on Mars.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Now, we now know Perseverance's place
Wait,
in
so you
history.
said that he wasn't?
Let's take an up-close look at the rover
he is?
with Mars 2020
Is he Proxy?
system testbed engineer Helio Morillo.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking like, oh, is he Proxy?
Standing in front of the Mars 2020 Perseverance scaled model. As you can tell, this vehicle is about the size of a Mini Cooper. These wheels are obviously
I have a Mini
black
Cooper
here, and they look like rubber, but they're actually fully made of metal. These wheels are designed to allow us to climb over obstacles and, of course, climb over hills and minimize the amount of slipping once we're traversing on the surface of Mars. Here in the front of the rover, we have the sample caching system. And, of course, at the very front end of this is the robotic arm, which this entire system is arguably the most complex robotic system we've ever sent outside of Earth. Here at the tip of the arm, we have a turret which contains a suite of instruments along with some drills and coring capabilities that will allow us to do contact science once we get to the surface of Mars. Not only that, this robotic system is equipped to collect samples about the size of a piece of chalk that then eventually will be stored inside of the vehicle and dropped off in a later location so that an eventual mission can go and return these samples to Earth, something we've never done in the past. Here in the front, we have the remote sensing mast. Something of note is that this mechanism is going to be stowed upon the touchdown on the surface of Mars. And one of the first critical activities we do is deploy this mechanism. This mechanism includes several cameras that are going to give us some of the most breathtaking images we've ever taken on Mars. Along with that, we have some lasers as well as a spectrometer. They're going to allow us to do some remote science. Here you see some of these extrusions that are part of a larger weather suite of instruments that will allow us to characterize the local climate around Perseverance. So that's a quick tour of the rover, but I gotta get back to work. So back to you.
The awkward smile to the camera. Dang, that's cold.
Perseverance is collecting samples of Martian rock for future return to Earth. We've heard that scientists have been wanting to bring Martian samples back for many generations. And here to talk a little bit about that is NASA's Planetary Science Division Director, Lori Glaze, who joins us now to talk about the role Perseverance will play in NASA's future goals. Welcome, Lori.
Hi.
Now, as you just heard, we've heard that scientists have been wanting to bring back these Martian samples
I really want
for
that
a very
polo.
long time. Why do we need to bring them back?
That's really a great question. You know, we actually have examples of Mars already here on Earth that came here as meteorites. But we don't know exactly where they came from on Mars, and then they also have had to make the trip from Mars to Earth, and so they got altered during that time, and then during their entry and descent into the Earth's atmosphere, that also changes what those rocks are like. So being able to go to Mars and actually collect a sample where we know exactly where it came from, and we know we can preserve it and keep it pristine and carry it all the way back here, this will be incredibly important to help us answer questions about the geologic history of Mars, understanding how it formed and evolved, and also really important questions about whether or not life actually existed on Mars 3.5 billion years ago, and whether that life, if it existed, has been preserved in the surface of Mars.
Now, Lori, these sample tubes that Perseverance is going to be collecting, they're the cleanest things ever created on Earth. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh my goodness. We worked so hard. The team here at JPL is absolutely incredible to assure that those sample tubes are incredibly clean. One of the main goals of this mission is to be able to detect if there's actual life that's preserved, ancient life preserved in those rocks, in those samples. And we definitely don't want to be carrying, our own DNA off to Mars and then bring it back here to confuse our scientists when they're trying to study those samples. So it is an incredibly clean set of equipment that's been sent there. As you said, the cleanest thing we've ever sent into space.
Now, this is a very
I'm just trying to fix my camera
campaign.
because I was backing
Can you
up.
break down for us how it's going to work and if there's any international partners working with us?
You are correct. The Mars Sample Return campaign is incredibly complex. In fact, it's probably the most challenging thing we've ever tried to do. But we're definitely not going to try and do it alone. We have great partners with the European Space Agency. And the way this campaign is going to work, well, Perseverance is the first step. Chapter 1 is going to Mars and collecting the samples. Chapter 2 is going to be a sample return lander that we hope to launch in around 2026 to 2028. And that lander, it'll be an American lander carrying a fetch rover that's provided by European Space Agency. And that little fetch rover will drive out and pick up the samples that Perseverance left on the surface of Mars. And the fetch rover will bring them back and load them into a rocket that we call the Mars Ascent Vehicle, which will be the first ever launch from another planet. And it will launch those samples into orbit around Mars. In the meantime, European Space Agency will have an orbiter that's in orbit around Mars that can rendezvous and capture those samples and then bring them back to Earth for us to study back here in our amazing laboratories.
Dude, that's
a lot
legit.
Of firsts, it sounds like, Lori. And another first, how is Perseverance
That makes
and
me
the
excited.
Mars Sample Return mission going to
I have
help
something
the future
to look forward to.
human exploration of Mars?
I'm so glad you asked that. I think we're going to get a lot of great information from Mars Sample Return with, again, being able to land the heaviest payload we've ever landed on Mars will be that Sample Return lander. That's critical to us learning how to land humans on Mars. And then we are definitely going to want to be able to launch the humans back off of Mars. So that Mars Ascent Vehicle is going to be critical, that first step of the first launch from another planet.
So exciting, Lori. And speaking about the Mars generation, we're now going to take a student question for you from Livia.
Hi, my name is Livia, and my question is, what made you want to study Mars, and why are you working so hard and willing to wait so long for a sample? Thank you.
Oh, Olivia, that is such a great question. And I enjoy Mars just because it can tell us so much about how our solar system formed and evolved. All of the planets can tell us different parts of that story, and Mars is a really key piece of that. And one of the main reasons we're willing to wait so long to get the sample back is that we've got great new scientists that are all about your age, and in about 10 or 15 or 20 years, you'll be the generation that's going to actually get to work with these samples. When they come back, you'll be the scientists and engineers that will be the next generation to change how we think about Mars and how we think about life in the solar system.
That was a great question, Lori. Reach for the stars, future little scientists and engineers. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Lori.
It's my pleasure. Thanks.
Back to you, Raquel, for another mission update.
Thanks, Marina. The cruise team for Perseverance controls the rover on its way to Mars. And moments ago, they handed it over to the landing team, and it looks like team leaders in mission control are about to talk to both teams. So let's listen in.
The CBM change, as I mentioned previously, is to the EDL reserve two-way non-coherent row.
Activity.
Copy flight.
EDL phase, go ahead.
I think I'd like to see pep talk, I guess, to the team. All right. You know I'm terrible at pep talks. I think my reputation precedes me there. And look, I know this hasn't been easy, right? I'm not even sure we've even been all in the same room at the same time. I mean, I'm staring at folks across the internet as well. Even now, right? Yeah. Voice check? Okay. I do want to just extend my heartfelt appreciation from the EDL team to the launch cruise team. You've done everything we've asked for, right? I mean, you've battled anomalies, you've dealt with SETIs, you've done everything. You delivered a healthy spacecraft to the place that we want to go. And she's right on target, right? You did the last maneuver literally 2 months ago, right? This is pretty incredible, in my opinion. And she's armed with the right information to help us land. Doing the parameter update last night, we're ready to roll. You've done everything right. And you've put up with us too, right? You've put up with our eccentricities and the things we like to do in EDL land. So I very much appreciate that. So you all should sleep in on Friday, since you guys have earned it. Thanks for literally and figuratively putting us in the right position to succeed. And let's land on Mars together.
Copy EDL phase. And
that was a nice pep talk.
Director, I also would like to thank the whole team, cruise ops, EDL ops, EDL team, and the surface ops as well. It's been an amazing journey. I think we all know that. And it's been my honor and pleasure to work with you all side by side. And your tireless efforts and endurance in the face of our challenges has been truly, truly inspiring. So, kudos to you. Mission, would you like to say something?
Yeah, just echoing the same words that Al and Maggie have mentioned. You guys have overcome great obstacles in the last 6.5 months, and it started with an earthquake in this room on launch day at L-20 minutes. So I can't be more proud than all of the achievements that you guys have pulled off in the last 6.5 months. Whatever happens in the next hour and a half, you can be proud of the achievements that you've accomplished so far. I look forward to seeing you on the other side, and I only wish that the rest of our team could be sharing this moment with us. This is a very unusual event. This room is only half as full as it would be if we weren't in this pandemic. So missing everybody on the team who's not with us here today. And go EDL.
Welcome to the EDL family.
Hello. Hi, hi, hi.
And with that, Godspeed Perseverance. All right, activity. Go ahead and continue the report.
Sure thing, flight. We've since completed the EDL start anchor. As I was mentioning, we changed our CBM row to EDL reserve two-way non-coherent. That row reinforces our CBM windows disabled, keeps our packetization on, it turns off our ranging and switches to the auxiliary
Oh shoot.
oscillator.
2:16. I need to make my popcorn.
Data product and reinforced medley.
I need to make my popcorn, but I don't want to leave because I don't want y'all to think that I'm just like not here.
Leaders thank the cruise team for their work in guiding the rover to Mars. Now, did you know the rover name and Mars helicopter name came from students? Well, a couple weeks ago, Marina was able to catch up with them.
Thanks, Raquel. Earlier this year, NASA and our partners held a nationwide essay contest to name our Mars rover. Alex Mather, a 7th grader from Springfield, Virginia, submitted the winning essay that was selected by NASA from a field of more than 28,000 entries from K through 12 students in every state in the U.S. Vanessa Rupani's essay for Ingenuity was so compelling, NASA thought it would be a perfect name for the history-making helicopter, a technology demonstration carried aboard the Perseverance rover. Alex and Vanessa join us now. Welcome, you guys.
Hello, space nerds.
Hi.
I want that shirt.
Now, you got to go to Florida and watch the launch live back in July. Alex, what were you feeling as you saw that rocket launch into the sky?
I read a lot of books written by astronauts, and every single one of them always talks about
I'll be right back.
raw
I'm gonna make my popcorn.
behind a space
BRB.
launch. And I definitely feel like watching it launch invoked that sense of well, inspiration mixed with anticipation, along with that rumble in my chest.
That's very inspirational, and I'm sure that you have had many conversations with your classmates since this all began. Now, what kind of questions have they asked you?
I got some people asking me about what this helicopter is, what this rover is, what are they actually going to do. So I love that this whole experience sparked a greater interest in the mission in my community.
Why do you think it's so important for kids to be inspired by space exploration?
Because space is the future, and kids are the future. Learning about space and watching the story of humanity spread to the stars happen is watching the future happen and seeing history unfold.
The best way to keep our home safe and protect our planet is to learn from the worlds around it. So I think it's really important for the next generation of scientists to be engaged in that type of exploration to make our home the best place it can be.
Now, speaking of the future, what has your life been like since naming the rover and helicopter? Has it sparked any future aspirations for the two of you?
Oh man, I am currently applying to a science and technology school for high school. I'm hoping for a NASA internship sometime along the way, with my ultimate goal being to join the incredible team of scientists and engineers who are about to make this happen.
This whole experience has definitely shown me that I want to go into the space industry. I came home from Florida, did all my college applications, and checked aerospace engineering on all the boxes. I mean, the whole time we were there, I was thinking, why would anyone want to do anything else?
So true, and the best of luck to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Alex and Vanessa.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Now, your essays, as well as the top 155 finalist essays, are riding on the Perseverance rover, along with nearly 11 million of the names from all over the world that were submitted before launch. And if you miss the chance to get your name on Perseverance, then you will get another chance to reserve a spot on the next mission to Mars. So make sure that you sign up now at mars.nasa.gov for your boarding pass. As virtual celebrations are happening all over the globe, let's take a look at some of your submissions on our social channels, showing us how you're celebrating the Perseverance landing right now. And remember to hashtag Countdown to Mars and send those in. We would love to show them off. Look at these kids. They are getting so excited. Everyone's watching it. A lot of classrooms are watching it. Oh, and great, someone did a Lego version of Perseverance, which is awesome. It looks fantastic. We love getting all your pictures out there. We've gotten a lot of artwork from kids, which has been great. I know I have a 9-year-old John at home, and he loves to draw the rover. And look at that. That is awesome. That's better than anything I could bake, that's for sure. Perseverance in a cake. That looks so great. Delicious. I want to get into that. Another great send-in from David Bowie Reel. Thank you so much for your submissions. Remember, hashtag Countdown to Mars. We love to see how you're celebrating. Now, you might know our next guest from shows like Emily's Wonder Lab. Joining me now is Emily Calandrelli. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Now, you are very passionate about getting kids interested in science and space exploration. Why do you think kids are so excited about space?
Well, I know the reason I'm excited about space, and I think it's the same reason that many others are excited about space, and it's that the people in the space industry work to answer two of the biggest questions that humans have ever asked. Are we alone in the universe, and where did we all come from? And by sending a rover to Mars, we are gaining evidence for the answers to these questions, more evidence than we ever had before, and I think that's so exciting.
It is, and I know you get loads of interesting questions from kids. Have you gotten any about Mars specifically?
Oh my gosh, yes. Everybody loves Mars. It's in movies and books and TV shows, and everybody loves Mars. So one of the things that I get asked a lot is that, it's called the red planet. Why is it red? Well, it's red because it's literally rusty. The top layer of soil on Mars has iron oxide in it, or rust, and rust has that brownish red color, so it's red because it's rusty. And also because it's red, they ask, is it red hot? Is it really hot on Mars? And well, no, actually, it's colder than the Earth. It's farther away from the sun, so as you would imagine, it's a little bit colder than the Earth. It also has a really thin atmosphere, so the heat that it does have, it has a hard time keeping in, and so it's a little bit colder. But then I also get asked, what would I weigh on Mars? That's a really fun question. So on Mars, it's a little bit smaller than the Earth, so the gravity there is weaker. It's about 3/8 the gravity that we have here on Earth. So if you weighed 100 pounds here on Earth, you weigh 38 pounds on Mars, or 100 kilograms here on Earth, 38 kilograms on Mars.
Those are all super fun. I think even some adults want to know the answers to those questions, Emily. Now, why do you think it's so important to educate kids about science and give them that great foundation?
Well, science is the language of nature, and learning about science and learning how to think like a scientist means you are learning how to systematically seek out truth in the world. You are learning the scientific method, you're learning how to be a critical thinker, and honestly, those skills are great for whatever you end up wanting to do in life.
True, if you want to be a scientist or an opera singer,
Hello.
that holds true. And what are you most excited about today?
I mean, humans are launching a rover to Mars. That doesn't happen every day. I think in all of the hecticness that is going on today and all of the nerves, I just hope everyone can take a moment to sit back and remember that we live in a time when humans have the ability to send a robot.
I hope the camera didn't freeze. Oh, okay, it didn't. It's fine.
So cool.
But I'm back. I got my popcorn.
It is very cool, Emily. Take a deep breath. Thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
Sending it back to you now, Raquel.
Thanks, Marina. We are offering lots of ways to ride along with us to Mars. Now put yourself right into the action now with our Perseverance photo booth. You can pose next to the rover, place yourself in our mission control, and even see what you might look like taking a selfie on the red planet. There, you'll also have a chance to sign up to send your name to Mars on NASA's next flight to the red planet. It's all available at go.nasa.gov/Mars2020 Toolkit. And joining us now is JPL Chief
There's like a big lag from like what I'm doing to the phone.
He will be breaking down key moments coming up, and very few people know more about landing on Mars than Rob, going back to the Pathfinder mission in 1997. Thanks for joining us today, Rob.
Thank you very much, Raquel, for having me here. And what a wonderful experience. What a wonderful day for a beautiful day in California. We're just also excited here, anxious, worried, but very hopeful.
Rob, I have a question.
I wonder where their heart rates are.
Landing tradition at JPL.
Everyone at the JPL.
Eating peanuts for good luck. Can you tell us how did that start?
Yes, it started in the mid-1960s. What happened was we had a series of missions that had failures. The Ranger program in the early 1960s, one after another, failed. And what happened was, one day, a fellow by the name of Dick Wallace on Ranger number 7, on the 7th attempt, decided to bring peanuts to the ops area just before the launch, and guess what? That mission
Hey.
worked. Now, we're not supposed to be too superstitious. We're engineers and scientists after all. But we love tradition, and ever since then,
Cool.
before launch and before critical events like entry descent
Hi, Dante.
landing, we have brought out peanuts and shared them with the team. And it's been really a wonderful little experience, and so this is something we're doing right now, and it's something that we just can't help ourselves. It's just part of the experience.
Well, speaking of the experience, how did the Perseverance team keep the tradition alive this year?
Well, this year we're passed out little packets of peanuts to the team, and they can sneak one peanut in their mouth.
All right. See
for
how that sounds?
To keep the tradition alive. But this is part of the COVID
From your
experience.
phone.
But we can't leave this one
Testing.
So
One,
this is what we're doing,
three.
and this is going to help us land safely.
All right, thanks, Rob. I have some questions for you a little later on, but we're heading back to Swati Mohan, who is part of the landing team. She'll be calling out key milestone and events as they happen from Mission Control, so let's listen in right now.
All right, cool.
So right now we're still about 20 minutes from entry, and the EL phase is giving a last-minute confirmation of what will be happening in the upcoming changes to the vehicle, just to remind the team.
This will allow us to steer our trajectory as we make our way through the atmosphere.
I said 20 minutes from entry.
This is one of the things that allowed MSL, the Curiosity rover, to land where it did. And we're depending on the same type of entry guidance this time around to help get us very close to our target. As we make our way through entry, finish our guided entry profile, we'll do a maneuver called heading alignment, where we point toward the target and get ready to deploy the parachute. But before we deploy the parachute, we need to get rid of a set of balance masses that have been giving us a center of gravity, or CG offset.
Y'all can't hear me hearing my popcorn, right?
Because
that'll be embarrassing.
So these are called the entry balance masses. We also call this maneuver SUFR, S-U-F-R, or straighten up and fly right. So we'll go ahead and eject those masses when we get a trigger from the GNC system telling us that we're at the appropriate range to the target to do so. As soon as we deploy those, we will no longer have a CG offset, and we'll be ready to deploy the parachute 17 seconds later.
Right where the Perseverance team is sitting now, what's in store for them as we approach landing?
I'm going to hold here for EO prep as we're about to start that anchor.
Popcorn ASMR.
Copy piece 2.
Fine.
And activity, please call that out when it's ready.
20 minutes. 20 minutes until it enters. Wait, but you can really hear me eating popcorn? Because if so, I'm gonna just move the mic.
All right. Now, Rob, you've been right where the Perseverance team is sitting now. What's in store for them as we approach landing?
Well, this is the nail-biting time. Fortunately, we still have ones and zeros coming, but very soon, as we approach cruise stage separation, the transmitter on this rover we've been using all the way to get to Mars is going to be turned off. So we will lose our ability to see ones and zeros. But the good thing is, once the cruise stage is gone, there's another radio that will continue transmitting a tone, so that like a flashlight, that will allow us to at least see that the vehicle is still on. And that color of that flashlight tells us a little bit what state the rover's in. But soon after that, it won't be very long before we'll be able to hear more ones and zeros coming from the spacecraft. So this is a really exciting time, and it's just important to remind people there's a lot that can go wrong in a day like today. There are thousands of things that have to go right.
Yeah, we had success in the past landing on Mars. You'd think it gets easier, but it really doesn't. Why is it still so difficult?
Well, because it's involved thousands and thousands of things, hundreds of thousands of lines of code, There's 79 pyrotechnic devices. Each have to work perfectly. One critical wire short or one key thing mechanism that doesn't work or breaks, and it's mission over. And so it's and it's very easy. We're human beings. We're not perfect. Mistakes can be made. We count on each other to find our own mistakes, and we work very hard to learn from the mistakes of the past. We've had many failures. Remind people, roughly half, around half of the missions to Mars over history have failed, and so it's that could happen today too. Even though we've had a nice, wonderful string of successes in the United States, it's still still a bit of a gamble that we have hoped that we have erred in the side of luck, and we've stacked the deck and loaded the dice to make this thing succeed. But if we do fail, and something bad happens today, I can tell you we're going to learn it. We'll have the data that tell us what happened. We'll know why. We'll figure it out, and if we are allowed, we will pick ourselves up and get us back on the horse. And if Congress and NASA allow, we will try again, as we always do.
That would suck
we
if
will
it's
learn
a mission
from our
fail
mistakes.
today.
And what are the
That would be
possible
sad.
scenarios we could be looking at today?
Well, there's things like one of the key stressful elements for all of us is parachute inflation. But just even separating from the cruise stage is a pretty major event. Lots of devices have to work properly. Certainly, the heat shield separation, getting the descent engine started. There's no less than 16 rocket motors that have to work.
Hello.
8 to control during entry, another 8 to control it during landing. I said it's a lot of stuff, and it all has to work. And guess what? We haven't done this before with this vehicle.
You'll have 17
ever.
minutes
This
to make
is
some
the first
popcorn.
attempt to actually land. we can't try this on Earth. We can't do. We don't have test pilots to try it out on this planet before the big show. So this vehicle is doing it for the first time. We've done the best testing we can do in bits and pieces, but it's as best as we could do. But I think our team is up to it. This team is the best. It's a diverse, intelligent, amazing group of people. People from all over the world who worked on this, not just here in California, but all over NASA, contributors from aerospace, universities, countries around the world. It is just an incredible, remarkable engineering achievement.
I love that.
And I am
This
just
is
so proud
fine.
of this team.
Thanks, Rob. Now, let's listen back into mission control.
Flight, we're about 14 minutes from entry interface. The vehicle is currently preparing the heat rejection system that has kept the thermal system cool inside the air shell for about the last 6 months. This will allow the spacecraft to more easily cut the lines in upcoming cruise stage separation, which is under 4 minutes now.
We have now enabled the Rover Pyro bus.
That's the pyrotechnic system that's
We
going
are
to
powering off the cruise stage devices.
and these are the things in the cruise stage that we no longer need. With the pyrotechnic system working, we can explode the devices.
The
That's
vehicle is
separate.
preparing for the upcoming cruise stage separation in about 3 minutes 15 seconds by powering off all the devices on the cruise stage in order that they can be safe once the cruise stage is jettisoned.
Yeah, this cruise stage has been very reliable.
We are firing our first pyros to vent
gonna
the
share
HRS
this to
liquid and gas.
My Twitter.
This has been the coolant that's kept their vehicle from getting too hot on the way to Mars. We have
shoot,
to vent
how do I
it
do
into
it?
space.
Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Bear
And
with
this,
me.
This is one of the first
Oh my God!
major
What the heck?
events that
Oh,
take
3
place as part
subscribers.
of
Cool.
entry descent landing.
Awesome. Thank you for the ones who
The
subscribed. Thank you so
HRS
much.
anchor is complete. We will see the next anchor in approximately 3 minutes.
All right. Hold on.
Okay.
We are currently 12 and a half minutes from entry interface. We are coming upon cruise stage separation in 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Watch me.
now, Rob?
Okay, well, we're just waiting. The Rover is completely in charge. It's doing all the things we've taught it how to do. It's all built into the software. We've tested it over and over and over again. This team has spent 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, testing this thing for years, and
All
so
right,
this
let's
is
go.
this is really the culmination of all that work. So this vehicle is getting ready to push that cruise stage away.
Oh my God,
Once
we
it
have.
gets pushed away, it'll
14
the
minutes?
entry system with the rover inside.
Well, I
with
said
the
14
rover
minutes
still
like
in
2 minutes
charge,
ago, so 12 minutes.
It's going to get ready to take the vehicle, turn it to the right orientation, and aim it to Mars, and prepare for entering the atmosphere. This won't be long. Be prepared for this event.
We're about a minute and a half from cruise stage separation, about 11 minutes, 20 seconds from entry interface.
11 minutes.
Okay, so it's about 10 minutes from cruise stage separation till entering the top of the atmosphere. From then on and out, things happen
We are switching
fast.
to MFSK tones. Telemetry will have stopped.
Telecom is confirming that the spacecraft has switched to broadcasting tones. These tones are received directly from Perseverance, but
What
have
time is
very
it over
limited
there? Like
information content.
my time zone?
We
Is that what
won't
you're talking about?
receive real-time information until about 9-10 minutes from now, once the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter starts relaying information from Perseverance. We are under a minute from cruise stage separation, about 10.5 minutes from entry interface.
It's getting exciting. I have to admit, I am quite anxious, but very hopeful that this machine is going to do what we asked it to do.
We are seeing the heartbeat tones.
Okay, that means that there's no more ones and zeros coming. It's just the vehicle telling us it's still alive.
Oh, it's 2:38 Central Time.
From Perseverance, standing by for cruise stage separation.
2:38 p.m., not a.m. Sorry.
We have indication that cruise stage separation has been confirmed by the spacecraft.
We're off on a good start.
In about 1 minute, Perseverance's landing software will wake up and begin the final preparations for entry. The first action it will do is to fire warm-up pulses with its entry thrusters. These pulses ensure that the spacecraft gets the thrust that it wants during entry interface. We're about 9 minutes from entry interface.
Imagine their heart rates right now.
Okay, so now the vehicle's on its own.
I could tell her breathing is a little fast.
Facing the heat shield toward Mars, and will eventually hitting the top of the atmosphere. We're not far away. This is going to go very quickly from here on out.
That's confirmation that we got shadowed by the cruise stage as it passed through our beam to the Earth.
Telecom indicated actually that we could see a signal that the cruise stage went between the Perseverance entry capsule and Earth. So we saw a little blip, the data stream indicating the cruise stage separation. We have confirmation that the vehicle has started warming up those entry thrusters. Warm-up pulses have begun. At this point, the spacecraft is trying to stop its spin from the cruise
blocking
2 revolutions per
is
minute
blocking
down to
the
0, and then we'll
the thing for you guys. Let me move my camera.
From entry, it will separate the two balance masses that has kept it balanced during all of cruise. This will allow the entry capsule to have lift.
All right. It's because the countdown is there, and my camera was coming over that, so y'all can see the countdown.
Entry attitude. We are about 7.5 minutes from entry interface.
Okay, the vehicle is pointed in the right direction. The thrusters are warmed up and doing their job. And now
there we go.
We've spun down from.
There we go. I got y'all. I got with the countdown.
The way to Mars as a spin-stabilized spacecraft, and then from here on out, it's going to just be a bullet, and can control its orientation and attitude.
That's the same thought that I was thinking. with the rover.
DTE from
Like,
Radio Science.
I wonder if they have a GoPro on there as well.
Carrier log.
That was my first thought too.
Do you see the carrier on the downlink?
Flight level 1.
We are continuing to wait for entry interface. We're about 6 minutes and 45 seconds from entry interface. We have confirmation from Greenback that they are receiving direct-to-Earth telemetry via that path. The spacecraft Perseverance is currently transmitting heartbeat tones. These tones indicate that Perseverance is operating normally and has nothing significant to report.
Oopsies.
This is as expected. We're currently just over 6 minutes from entry interface.
Okay, and now we wait. As soon as we get to the top of the atmosphere, it will be very quickly, which is the entry point. It won't be very long before the atmosphere will start getting thicker and thicker. It's going very quickly at a fairly steep angle of 15 degrees into the atmosphere, and as it starts to slow down.
We're just under, we're about 5.5 minutes from entry interface. We're still receiving heartbeat tones. We expect to continue receiving heartbeat tones until about 5 minutes after entry. At that time, Perseverance will be no longer in view of our antennas here on Earth. About 90 seconds prior to entry, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter should begin receiving telemetry from Perseverance and streaming it to Earth in near real time. There are a few expected short outages, such as when we have a plasma blackout or when we enter the peak heating phase. Aside from these outages caused by the plasma blackout, antenna switching, or high dynamic events, spacecraft events, we should have telemetry until about 90 seconds after landing. A plasma blackout is when the signal from Perseverance isn't strong enough to make it through the superheated, super fast air flowing around the spacecraft all the way down to Earth. Once the temperature drops below that peak heating, we do reacquire the signal from Perseverance. We are currently about 4.5 minutes from entry interface. Perseverance continues to report heartbeat tones, indicating everything is nominal.
Okay, what we're looking for now is Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter should be in view soon of our vehicle and be able to listen to ones and zeros coming from a separate radio that's really designed to talk between spacecraft.
Camera reports the electro radio is powered on, ready to receive signals from the lander.
Okay. MRO is ready and able and waiting for to hear from our rover.
Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has reported that it's ready to receive the signals from Perseverance. It should be in a few minutes here. We're just
Flight level 1
from entry interface.
We don't need these ones and zeros, as Swati said, but to land safely. But we really need it for our own health and well-being today, to keep our nerves under control. But
around this time, a second spacecraft, Maven, should begin picking up telemetry from Perseverance and will continue to record that telemetry until several minutes post-landing. We won't get that data for several hours after landing as it's being recorded and then will be forwarded to Earth later. We are continuing to receive heartbeat tones, indicating that everything is nominal. We're currently at about 3 minutes until entry interface.
Okay. Very soon we'll be getting ones and zeros, I hope, from our radio on the rover. The entry interface is nothing more than just an arbitrary place in the sky that we've defined to be above the atmosphere. But from that point on, there's definitely atmosphere, and above it there isn't.
We are 2 minutes from entry interface. Perseverance is to transmit heartbeat tones, indicating everything is nominal.
So the tones can tell us whether something's bad or not is happening. So far the heartbeat is doing well. So the vehicle thinks it's in good shape to land, which is a great sign.
You can tell he's nervous. I would be nervous too if I was in that position.
We're just under 2 minutes from entry interface. As it gets closer to Mars, Perseverance is actually being pulled in by gravity and accelerating. By the time Perseverance reaches entry interface point, she should be going just under 5.4 kilometers per second. We're at about 90 seconds from entry interface and standing by for Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter to pick up the telemetry. We are 1 minute from entry interface.
MROs are in receive mode.
We have confirmation that the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter is now relaying data from Perseverance. We're about 30 seconds from entry interface. Perseverance is going about 5.2 kilometers per second and is about 190 kilometers altitude above the surface of Mars.
Confirm your jet data flow.
About seconds from
Yeah,
entry
man,
interface.
fingers crossed.
5.3
Get all
kilometers
of
per
'em.
second and an altitude of 150 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have confirmation of entry interface. Perseverance is currently going 5.3 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 120 kilometers from the surface of Mars. The spacecraft is now waiting until it begins feeling the atmosphere of Mars slow it down. Once there is enough atmosphere, it will start controlling its path to the landing target. Navigation is also confirming that we can see a little bit of that slowdown of the atmosphere on the Perseverance entry capsule. Our current velocity is about 5.36 kilometers per second and an altitude of about 67 kilometers from the surface.
We are probably seeing MRO plasma blackout at this point.
The vehicle should be doing its turns right now.
MRO has lost lock.
Perseverance. We have indications that Perseverance is now performing bank reversals in the atmosphere. These are the steps in order to control its distance to the landing target. Perseverance has just passed through the point of maximum deceleration and has indicated that it felt approximately 10 Earth Gs of deceleration.
MRO has lock again.
We saw a small outage of the UHF telemetry from Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter during that peak heating phase, likely caused by the plasma blackout. Perseverance is still continuing to perform bank reversals in the atmosphere to control its distance to the landing target.
God, this is intense.
Perseverance is going about 1 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 16 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have entered heading alignment which means Perseverance is no longer trying to control the distance to Mars, to the target on Mars, but instead is flying straight to the target. Our current velocity is about 550 meters per second at an altitude of about 15 kilometers from the surface.
MRO's reporting good telemetry log.
We are coming upon the straighten up. We are starting the straighten up and fly right maneuver, where the spacecraft will jettison the entry balance masses in preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground. The navigation has confirmed that the parachute has deployed, and we are seeing significant deceleration in the velocity. Our current velocity is 440 meters per second at an altitude of about 12 kilometers from the surface of Mars. Perseverance is now slowed to subsonic speeds, and the heat shield has been separated. This allows both the radar and the cameras to get their first look at the surface. Current velocity is 145 meters per second at an altitude of about 9.5 kilometers above the surface.
Yes.
Perseverance now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second, 6.6 kilometers of the surface. Perseverance is continuing to descend on the parachute. We are coming up on the initialization of terrain relative navigation and subsequently the priming of the landing engines. Our current velocity is about 90 meters per second at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers. We have confirmation that the lander vision system has produced a valid solution and part of terrain relative navigation. We have priming of the landing engines. Current velocity is 83 meters per second at about 2.6 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have confirmation that the back shell has separated. We are currently performing the divert maneuver. Current velocity is about 75 meters per second at an altitude of about a kilometer off the surface of Mars.
TRN Safety Bravo.
We have completed our terrain relative navigation. Current speed is about 30 meters per second, altitude of about 300 meters off the surface of Mars. We have started our constant velocity accordion, which means we are conducting the sky crane, about to conduct the sky crane maneuver.
We've lost direct to Earth tones.
As expected. As expected.
Sky crane maneuver has started.
Oh, frick.
About 20 meters off the surface.
We're getting signals from MRO.
UHF is good.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the sands of past life.
It landed! Dang, that's so exciting, man.
At this point, the descent stage has flown away to safe distance. Perseverance is continuing to transmit direct through Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter to Earth.
Can y'all see that I'm kind of like... Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Oh. Oh.
More reports, they're still getting telemetry from the lander.
All right, all stations.
We got it.
Touchdown confirmed. We're going to wait for the images.
Goodness. Oh, they're going to show the images now. Oh, I'm so excited.
The team is beside themselves. It's so surreal. Stay tuned. We might get some pictures.
I know, right? Right? It is. It's amazing. God.
So much has been riding on this.
Yeah, we just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars.
Another step for mankind, man.
Copy activity. That is as expected.
Emerald is still seeing a strong signal from the lander.
I bet they're all relieved. Like their heart rates are finally declining.
We've just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars. Congratulations to the mission. And
where's the picture though?
News in. It looks like we're getting the first image. Here, take a look at the first image.
Show us the image.
Flight, this is OL3. I have the target point on the map when you are ready.
We are ready, OL3. Go for it.
Flight, I'll be moving in, showing you the safe zone that we've landed in.
Oh.
The team has just put the first image from Perseverance on the surface of Mars. Now, it comes from the engineering cameras, known as the hazard camera. This camera is mainly used to help the rover drive safely around Mars, and we will get higher resolution photos later in the day.
Oh, that's so legit.
That's amazing.
Look at my eyes, man. Oh, God. That is so awesome. I bet they're feeling like more more excitement than what I'm feeling.
Stand by for Steve.
Oh.
You did it. You did it. You did. You led the team. You made it happen. Congratulations.
Those are really clear photos. Man, that is awesome.
We just got our second image in. Our second image is in.
Okay, these we have a camera in the front and rear of the spacecraft. They're near the ground, so these are pretty close. You can see the wheels there, and they're a little dirty because we've got glass covers over these cameras. But we took these seconds after landing, so there's still dust in the air from our landing event. So this is happening This happened just seconds ago. Just arrived. And,
Man.
This is really amazing. And we even know where we landed. This is the most amazing thing. The vehicle has told us where it's landed because it figured it out. This is a sign. NASA works. NASA works. And when we put our arms together and our hands together and our brains together, we can succeed. This is what NASA does. This is what we can do as a country on all of the problems we have. We need to work together to do these kinds of things and make success happen.
Now the Mars mission is next, dude. Until another couple of years.
Joining us now is the acting administrator of NASA, Steve
That is
Jurczyk.
awesome.
Steve, welcome and congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
I don't know what else they're gonna show.
How does it feel to have
Maybe
another
this is,
rover on Mars?
It's amazing.
Those pictures were like the
to
final
have
things that they'll probably show
join
us.
Curiosity
and whatnot.
on Mars, and
oh wow, that was
what
amazing.
What just a credit to the team.
For the guys that stayed
just
here
what an
in the live
team,
chat and
to work
everything.
through all
Thank you so much.
the
I really
adversity,
appreciate that.
That goes and all the challenges
and also
that go
the
with
new
landing a rover on
subscriptions.
Mars,
That's
plus
amazing. I appreciate
the challenges of COVID
but cool.
and
We all,
just an amazing
everyone in here in this little chat, we all experiencing
what
this
does
together.
this mean for NASA and its future plans?
So for robotic exploration, every
Yeah.
time we execute a mission with new instruments,
I
we
am speechless.
discover new things and
I
things
am
we never
speechless.
thought we would discover. So that always informs our future robotic missions, both landers, rovers, and orbiters. This mission also has technology on it.
I'm probably gonna
One of the cool things is
end
the
the live,
Ingenuity helicopter.
finish eating my
It's
popcorn.
an experiment on this mission.
So-
but if it's successful, we can use it as an
I will see you
observation
guys
science
next time.
observation platform by putting instruments on it, and also use it as a scout.
Thank you for
future
joining
rover
my
missions.
live today.
And then just
I
the
really
intercept
appreciate
and
that.
landing, capability.
And I'll see you guys
It'll
later.
allow
Everyone
us
stay
to
safe out
land
there, especially
more
the ones who
more
were saying that
larger,
like
more
it's like
ambitious robots
been
on the
snowing over there
surface of
since
Mars.
December.
And then for human
Be safe out there.
exploration, we have
seriously,
the
guys, thank you.